Long ago, in the land of Midian, there lived a man named Moses. Moses was not born in Midian. He was actually an Israelite, born in Egypt during a time when his people were enslaved by the Pharaoh, the ruler of Egypt. Moses had fled Egypt after a serious mistake and now lived as a shepherd, tending to the flocks of his father in law Jethro. One day, Moses was leading his sheep through the wilderness near Mount Horeb, also known as the Mountain of God. It was a quiet day, just like any other, until Moses noticed something strange in the distance. There was a bush, but it wasn't like any ordinary bush. This bush was on fire, yet it wasn't burning up. Moses was curious and decided to take a closer look. As he approached, he heard a voice calling out from the bush, saying, "Moses! Moses!" Moses was startled but answered, "Here I am." The voice spoke again, saying, "Do not come any closer. Take off your sandals, for the ground on which you are standing is holy." Moses quickly removed his sandals and listened intently. The voice continued, "I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Moses was filled with awe and covered his face, afraid to look at God. God told Moses that he had seen the suffering of the Israelites in Egypt and had heard their cries for help. God had a plan to free them from slavery and bring them to a land of their own, a land flowing with milk and honey. God said to Moses, "I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." Moses' son was shocked. He had left Egypt a long time ago and didn't see himself as a leader. He asked God, "Who am I to go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" God reassured him, saying, "I will be with you." He also gave Moses a sign to show Pharaoh. "When you bring the people out of Egypt, you will worship on this mountain." Moses still had doubts and asked, "What if the Israelites don't believe me? What if they ask who sent you?" God replied, "Tell them, I am who I am. Say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you." God then gave Moses miraculous signs to prove his authority. He turned Moses' staff into a snake and then back into a staff. He also made Moses' hand become leprous and then healed it. These signs were meant to convince Pharaoh and the Israelites that Moses was sent by God. Even with these signs, Moses was hesitant. He wasn't a confident speaker and felt inadequate. He said to God, "Please send someone else." God became angry but patient. He said, "Your brother Aaron can speak well. I will send him with you, and he will be your spokesperson." Moses finally agreed, and with the help of Aaron, he went back to Egypt to lead the Israelites to freedom. The story of the burning bush was the beginning of Moses' journey to becoming one of the greatest leaders in Israelite history, guiding his people out of slavery and toward the promised land. The moral lesson from the story of Moses and the burning bush is that everyone, regardless of their background or limitations, can be called by God to accomplish great things. The key components of this lesson are divine purpose. Moses was an ordinary shepherd when God called him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. This teaches us that God has a purpose for everyone, and he often uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things. Moses had doubts about his ability to fulfill God's mission, yet he eventually trusted in God's plan. This demonstrates that having faith and trusting in a higher purpose can empower us to overcome our fears and uncertainties. Moses initially questioned God's command, but ultimately obeyed. He approached the burning bush with humility, removing his sandals on holy ground. This shows that acknowledging and respecting divine guidance is crucial in fulfilling our life's mission. God provided Moses with signs and his brother Aaron to help him on his journey. This illustrates that God provides us with the resources and support we need to accomplish our tasks, even if it means stepping out of our comfort zone. Overall, the story of Moses and the burning bush teaches us that when we are called to serve a greater purpose, we must be willing to listen, trust, and act with faith, knowing that we are never alone in our journey. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. See you in the next video.